hit record.
Where are you from, Kelly?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania? Wow, I'm from California.
Oh, okay.
So
we're on opposite ends of the country. Huh?
Yeah. Right. So Marie and I are in the same time zone, and it's getting late for you over there on your end.
A little bit.
Yeah. It was hard to try to pick a time for these because we do have, such the 3-hour difference between everybody. So
yeah.
So we were talking about cheating and what causes us to cheat. And you know what, Kelly, that's pretty much the main is patterns and habits and traditions. A lot of people, that's what you hear, is that it's, well, we always do this when this happens, when we get together, holidays and things like that. Which I was starting to say, we're going over, the drawbacks of cheating go beyond it with hCG. The drawbacks of cheating go beyond the actual weight gain or stall that you might have, and right. It's the hormone thing that happens that then sabotages the continuous weight loss or keeping the weight off, because you don't reset the hormones as if you end up having fats or sugars. So and so let me see here. I've got a sheet, and I'm going to actually be redoing these sheets, and I'm going to be offering them for everybody to have like a quick, tips and tricks. So, so with cheating, the gain and the stall is the main. I have in here that don't cheat, you'll regret it. But like you said, if you have come to terms with, okay, I'm good with what I lost, because I made a choice and I'm okay with that choice, then that's awesome. That's taking responsibility for where you're at and what you're doing. I actually had a member that lost 17 pounds in her first 17 days, and she spent 3 days cheating, and she gained 11 of those 17 back.
Oh my God.
I know. And she was just devastated, but she learned a really valuable lesson. In 3 days, she learned a really valuable lesson. So it's not worth it. And then with hold on here, I'm having to read it, unfortunately. So the control thing and the habits is the hard, like you said, when your kids come to town and you do family things, that's a choice and a hard thing to not, or to stick to. And then but there's alternatives. That's like this weekend, tomorrow, we're going to the races. My husband and I work on a race car, and we haven't been in a couple of years, and so this is going to be the first time back, and I'm already having anxiety because it's like, okay, they're going to be doing all the food things there, and then they've got the beer, and they've got the wine, and they've got barbecuing and concession stands and the whole business, and we'll be out of our camper. Thankfully, I can take my injections, I can take my food, and but it's awkward, that's that whole pattern thing. It's awkward to take my food, and everyone else is sitting around with potato salad, macaroni salad, and hamburgers and hot dogs, and I've got cabbage and chicken. But and so I'm already planning in my head, and things that I do that treat myself are, I have sparkling soda, and I put like stevia in it, and I walk around with it the whole time, because if I have something in my hand, I'm less apt to go and pick things up and I shouldn't be picking up. And I find that I spend time focusing on the people and try to not focus on the food, and so enjoy the company that you're with, and avoid the food table.
For me, that's how it is for me too, and it's that first bite. That's what I'm always fighting, that first bite, because I know that for me, I know that once I take that bite, I could eat for maybe a week. It could be 3 or 4 days of continuously like eating compulsively. So for me, it's always about the first bite. Like, I don't know how to moderate. So it's important that I just don't even take that first bite of anything.
Right. And so that helps keep you stuck to the P2. What do you do in phase 3? When you go to phase 3, do the fats satisfy you so you don't worry about, or don't, you're not tempted?
Well, it does for a while, and then I stay I do maybe I try not to eat sugar and carbs. And that works fine. But then if I know I'm going to, like the last time I did another round, when I know I've set my date for another round, and I mean, I literally ate like a crazy person for maybe a week and a half, and I gained almost all the weight that I had just lost in my last round.
Yeah.
And I just was like, whoever you were talking to, I've totally done that before, and it's frustrating.
Right. Right.
Because I know I'm going to start a round, so I eat I eat in a weird way, like.
Well, right. You
crazy.
Well, and I did the same thing right before this round. I started having things I never had, or I don't normally have in my life, because it's like, well, I'm starting a round, so I'm going to eat these treats, and here I'm going totally against what I share with people I coach and stuff. It's like that whole saying of don't treat yourself with food. You're not a dog. You give your dogs treats, but food's not a treat. Food's fuel, but food is a treat. So it's such a hard balance to,
Right.
not have it as a treat, but have it as a treat, or and so there's where you go for healthier options.
Yeah, because really, if I choose something bad like a sugar, I mean, it literally puts me in a different state of mind to where I'm lashing out at my child, and even my daughter knows. She'll be like, "Mom, did you eat sugar?" No, and I'm thinking in my head, yes, I did eat sugar, because when I eat sugar, it makes me lash out, because it makes me, I think, angry at myself.
There you go. So you're angry at yourself, and it makes you agitated, and so yeah.
And I think it physically makes me agitated.
Yeah.
Without just being mad at myself for knowing that one bite of whatever it is could last a week.
Right. And isn't it funny? We're the ones that usually, with our kids, it's like, did you eat sugar? And now they're asking us if we ate sugar.
Right. Because she knows how I am too. And she knows that's a huge thing for me.
See, I know with me, sugar causes my joints and my muscles to ache. It's like it's toxic. And so I've pretty much gone to, and it'll be interesting because we are approaching the holidays, and that's the time when we're always going to have a challenge with, because it's everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere you go. But if you get in the habit of the safe, smart options, stevia, no, it doesn't taste as good as sugar, but it also doesn't have the effects that sugar has on our bodies.
Right.
So, stevia, xylitol, erythritol, those things, and actually, as soon as I go to phase 3, I'm going to be doing some of the cooking videos for phase 3 cooking too. And so we're going to do some using xylitol and almond flour, because I want, before the holidays, I want to give everybody healthy, treats, healthy holiday options.
Yeah.
I made one last year. I think I made a cauliflower stuffing, because I love stuffing. I love stuffing. But stuffing doesn't love me, so there's options. I can make it with a gluten-free bread, which gluten-free bread's usually like a brick, and it's not even worth eating or buying. It's nasty. Or, I made it with cauliflower. So I did the sausage and the cauliflower, so it had the same consistency and it had the same taste, which was wonderful. So there's the healthy options that can help us stay off the sugar, because honestly, sugar is it is toxic. I mean, an occasional, but like if you know that you can't touch it. It's like my mom with smoking. She quit many, many years ago, but she always said, never have that first one.
Right.
Because that first one just throws you completely back into it.
Yeah, it's the one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. Yeah, I believe in that.
Right. So I was gonna, so go through some of these. I've got a lot of, I'm reading this going, gosh, I'm kind of mean in here. Don't cheat. Nothing tastes as good as thin and healthy feels.
Right. Even the whole bloating, I notice if I'm not eating right, maybe even the scale will stay the same, but I'll feel like really bloated in my stomach, and my whole body feels bloated, my face.
Right now, are you in phase 2 right now, Marie?
I'm in 3.
You're in
So
3.
I'm kind of eating keto right now, logging everything into Fitness Pal,
Perfect.
and I'm obsessive about things. I just ordered the keto blood meter.
Oh, did you really? Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at it and looked at the price and looked at the price of the strips, and I'm like,
Yeah, they're like $2 each. So I'm hoping that my obsession doesn't. I've only tested myself once, and because I know the strips that you pee on sometimes aren't that reliable, and the ones I had weren't reliable. And then all of a sudden, I buy this $100 device, and I pee on a strip, and it's purple. All of a sudden, and like last week, it was like
right.
it didn't even change colors. So
Well, it does
What
take
the-
time.
yeah,
What was
What
that?
does the what is the blood test? What is the keto? What does that test in your finger stick? What does
so
it show?
it checks for It checks to see if you're in ketosis, to see if your body is using if your body burns fat for energy.
Right. You mean
Instead,
like just like the urine strips only in your blood?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that there's the 3.0 group, which is an hCG group where they actually, and I couldn't figure it out, and it's just so complicated, but it was doing keto with hCG, which I just, first of all, don't understand how they can eat the fats to be in ketosis.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that.
No, and what I've found is that most of them lose like you'd normally lose if you were just on a keto diet. So, it's like,
Yeah.
if you're going to do keto, just do keto. If you want to do hCG and then go to keto. I mean, keto is a great alternative for phase 3. A lot of people do really, really well in ketosis.
hCG Chica has that phase 3 program too that I bought into.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of really good recipes on there.
I did too, and I wasn't in phase 3 when it came out. I bought it.
Mine too.
I put it in a file and haven't looked at it. Of course,
me too.
My life and my body's been through just a craziness this year. So I'm just so thankful. What's that?
I looked at it too. It was just really to me, it was very time consuming, like the recipes, and I needed something more simple and
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the special ingredients that you have to buy.
Right. Yeah.
So I was just, I wasn't willing to invest all that in the special ingredients. So I haven't started it, but I think I would try to transition to it when I go back to P2. But right now I'm just trying to maintain.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing with the recipes I want to do in phase 3. I want them to be simple, but, show some good alternatives. I used to love to bake, but, baking's, a challenge when you have a weight issue because, you don't want flour or sugar in your house. So you do have to, it is complicated to have erythritol and almond flour and coconut flour. But my mom's actually started, and she's made it really simple. Like for my birthday this last year, she made me an almond flour, like angel food type cake, and with coconut milk or coconut cream frosting. So it was all, phase 3. And I was able to eat it, and it was delicious. So, things. But like you said, Kelly, I want simple. That's why I, put all the simple recipes in the group, because my life is crazy right now, and just trying to recover and get well. And I'm just thankful that I'm able to do hCG again, because I put on about 15 pounds. Well, I lost 15 pounds after my surgery at the hospital, and then I've put it back on. So it's like, oh no, I liked being back down where I was. So I was gonna do a hCG round right before I went into the hospital, and then everything happened and I couldn't. So, but anyway, so some of the things, the main concern, like with cheating, is the waste of time and the waste of money. If you're gonna set aside 30 days, plan those 30 days out. And if you have an event coming up, like I do this weekend, I'm cooking all day tomorrow, and I'm going to be packing all my food and putting it in and taking it with me. Sometimes it's impossible. Do you guys go out for meals at all while you're in round 2 or in phase 2?
No.
Yeah, I don't like to. Like yesterday, my coworkers all went out for lunch, and I didn't go because I brought my lunch, and I'm like, no, I need to stick to my diet because I have a doctor's appointment next week. I got to get weighed, and
Ah,
so I didn't go. But like sometimes I go, but it's like, what do you eat? And like salad, there's no good dressings, and I have taken my own dressing, and
right.
I just rather would not go out to eat while I'm on this diet, because then I'm too tempted to cheat because everybody else is eating something really good. And even if you eat a salad, you don't know what's on it and what
Right.
they
Even the
cook the chicken
steak.
in.
Yeah, exactly. Chicken or steak. Now
Yeah.
and because my husband likes to go out, and so I had to learn how to go out and have meals. And so, I either go to Subway. Now I just found, what is it? Deli Delicious. Now, and Deli Delicious will make a sandwich wrap in lettuce.
Oh.
And it's a bit rogue, but we were going out with my daughter, and we went to Deli Delicious, and I had a roast beef roast beef, and I had mustard, because for some reason I can't eat chicken with mustard. It just doesn't work in my brain. So I had roast beef with mustard, and I had a couple slices of onions, a couple slices of pickles, and had it wrapped in lettuce. And they give you a good portion of lettuce. And so I took that, and I had them weigh it. I did ask them to please weigh it, to 3.5 ounces. So, but when I go out for restaurants, steakhouses and stuff like that, because like I said, my husband loves to go out for meals. It's just one of the things he does. And I feel like I'm depriving him if we don't go. So I just am real clear with my server. And it's really great because there's so many people now that are allergic, or gluten intolerant, and, dairy intolerant and all those things. So I went ahead, I just tell my server, I have allergies. I have food allergies, and I need to make sure that my steak or my chicken is cooked dry with no oil on the grill with just salt and pepper. And they bring it out, to me that way. And they're very, very, my husband jumps in and goes, if you guys do it wrong, she'll end up in the hospital. And it's like, okay, honey, don't need to exaggerate. But he wants to really make sure. And then I'll usually get the lettuce or a little bit of a salad, as long as no cheese, no croutons. And I just put vinegar on it. But, but you're right, looking next door, my husband's plate, of course, he's diabetic now. So he ends up eating a lot like I do. So he has meat and vegetables, and so we pass on the bread, we pass on the treat, pass on that stuff. But so now, do you guys do the breadsticks and the fruit?
No. I don't.
Neither one of you?
No.
And is it because it tempts you?
Yes, triggers me.
It does. So the carbs trigger you in. So do you actually how do you get up to the 500 calories?
Eat more vegetables or eat more meat.
Okay. So you just add a little bit more to your serving.
Uh-huh.
Have you guys ever looked into the 2.0 protocol?
Is that where you can eat fat?
Well.
Oh, no, that's where you can eat different vegetables, huh?
Yeah.
You can eat different vegetables. You can mix your vegetables, but it is actually a protocol that you don't have carbs. So you don't have the fruit, you don't have the vegetable, and you calculate your protein portion calories by your BMR. And so there's a calculation, and I could eat, I think it was 655 calories, or no, it was 555 protein calories, and then just vegetables. And you can eat unlimited amounts of vegetables. And you have to stay under 30 carbs a day. And you count the vegetable carbs as your 30 carbs a day. It's a good alternative for people like you guys who don't eat the grissini or the fruit, because it's a great way to be able to get your calories up. But if you guys essentially are doing that anyway. Do you guys mix your veggies? Do you guys go rogue and mix veggies?
Yeah, my first round I did on protocol, and I lost a lot better.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 or 3 rounds, I try to do it my way, and that never really works. And I've just had really pretty low losses. And then when I go, like I said, when I went on my 3rd round, I I like ate like crazy before. So the last 2 rounds I did rogue, but that doesn't work as well for me. That's
Right.
why I've been liking your recipes, that your Facebook Live posts, just because it's like on protocol and it's super simple.
I'm glad for that feedback, because that, you know, and Kelly said the same thing, the simple recipes. So I'm going to definitely be keeping those going for you guys, because that's, in fact, I have some stuff that I bought to cook tomorrow to take with me. So I'll take some pictures and stuff. Like the other day, I just made a quick, easy chicken celery soup. You know, I sauteed celery, threw in chicken broth, threw in my chicken because it's already pre-cooked, and it's chicken celery soup. Unfortunately, the weather now, it's time for soups, you know, which makes it nice and easy for the soups. I do a really great onion, you know, beef and onion soup, which is kind of like, you know, French onion soup, you know, minus the crouton and the cheese. But, you know, it's so satisfying when we're on phase 2 to have, you know, something like that, because it's really, it just fills you, you know, fills you up and makes you feel comfortable. So if you guys ever want information on 2.0, but I know I always try to keep people on original protocol because it's safe, and especially new people.
Wait.
Oh, but you know, it with the first round especially, you know, first round people really I believe should do it the right way, and then, you know, can move on to rogue things here and there. I personally can't eat a lot of the vegetables in phase 2 right now because of my intestines, so I do go rogue. I eat broccoli. I eat squash, or zucchini and yellow squash. Those are the only 2 rogue things I do. And when I cook zucchini with onion and yellow squash, and I kind of just, I do a cup. And so it's one of the rogue things I do, because I know that I can, you know, the first 3 days I started this round, I started eating the vegetables, the P2 vegetables, and I ended up with such a horrible gut pain and bloating. So I had to, you know, then I went to the 2.0 protocol to try it out, and I wasn't losing well. So then I moved back to original and just did original with rogue veggies. And so it's been working, and, you know, I've lost 13 pounds in 18 days. So I'm kind of, I'm happy with that, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I've got 7 more days, something like that. I'm going to the 15th. I've got 10 days because I'm going to the 15th.
So how many day round is that?
It'll be a 30-day. You know,
Yeah.
I was going to do a 23, but that'd basically be right now. And, you know, you're never satisfied. It's like, you know, I'd like to lose a little bit more, you know. I'm back down to where I was before everything happened with, you know, so I'm back down to 152. But I really liked how I felt at 142. So, although people told me I looked too thin and I looked sickly, but I'm only 5'2", and I think 142 for 5'2" isn't bad. So, but anyway, let me get back to here, because I know I keep rambling, going off onto rabbit holes and everything. I'm trying to see, because it's supposed to be tips and tricks, but have you guys heard of L-glutamine?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Do you have cravings? You know, I think, you know, or is it just mental, or do you have physical cravings?
If I stick to the program, I don't. But if I have fruit or like like this breadsticks, then it seems like that makes me more hungry.
Right.
So, or like if I have something off, then the next day
don't touch
even.
me. Why?
Uh-oh. I'm gonna mute Marie for right now until she settles in. There we go. So same as with Marie then, the sugars and the carbs trigger you. Because there's a couple of things that help with like cravings. L-glutamine is actually an amino acid, and it acts like sugar in the brain, and it actually satisfies your craving. And it's actually a lot what's in drops, you know, in hCG drops.
Oh, okay.
They have a little bit of hCG, and they have mostly all appetite suppressants. And so the L-glutamine is actually an appetite suppressant, and you can get it, you know, a lot of different places. Vitacost has it, and it helps with sticking to the protocol with cravings and things like that. She back? Not yet. There she is.
I
I
think,
muted. I muted you for a few minutes.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I thought I muted you, but okay, thank you, because I was, okay, thanks.
No,
Yes,
no worries. No worries. So anyway, so we were talking about L-glutamine. It's an amino acid, and it helps with cravings. And so that's something that you can do to help with cravings and keep from cheating. Also, I found that fennel. So I have fennel oil, essential oil, and you can put a drop. So like if you're having sweet cravings, and this would really help you, if you have sweet cravings, but you don't want to go there, you just put a drop of fennel oil, or probably could even get fennel seeds and chew them, and it satisfies your sweet craving.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So that's
like black licorice, right?
Yes. Yeah. So
I love black licorice too.
I love black licorice.
Me too.
Yeah. Some people hate it and some people love it. That's one of those back and forth.
Yeah.
So another thing to keep from cheating, of course, is doing something different, changing your habits up, taking a walk, go read, go visit friends, do different things like that. Have a buddy that you can contact and, say, hey, I'm feeling like cheating, so they can tell you no. Text me. I'll definitely keep you from cheating. Actually, I won't. I'll just give you all the reasons why you don't really want to. But,
Right.
I used to be a lot more hardcore, and I've gotten a lot better with just now, you're all grown women. I'll support you in what you want me to support you with, but I'm not gonna, not gonna be mean. Try not to be mean.
No, I try to not have it in the house, like wine. I just don't have any in the house, because then if I have a stressful day, that's what I want, and it's hard sometimes to not have a glass to relax. So I just don't have it in the house, and I do much better.
I saw somebody posted in the group, I want wine.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, this is going to end in 10 minutes? How can it end in 10 minutes? Oh, well, I thought it was going to go to 6:30. I guess I can't go all the way to 6:30. So let me get on these real quick. Okay, so create a cabinet, and you guys probably do this, that supports your protocol. Have your things in it so that your family doesn't get into it. Someone posted the other day that she made a bunch of crack slaw and her husband ate it all.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. So, and then, let's see, substitutions. I'm not going to even go there with that. Eliminates, reduce sugar, carbohydrates. However, sugar or carbohydrates remain in your diet except for the allowed starch you are allowing your body to cleanse. So that's with cheating, is that when you do cheat, you actually upset the reset of the hypothalamus. You're upsetting that process. So you end up not resetting the hypothalamus, so you don't reset your hormones. You don't end up then. It's harder to keep the weight off because you haven't done the full reset. And that's the big why of, it's not so much that the scale is going to go up. It's that you're not completing the full hCG process. And then, that unfortunately leads to future rounds, because it's like, I was doing great, and then the weight went up and stuff. Whereas, except for surgeries with me, I'm able to keep the weight off until I have a stupid surgery, and then that throws my body into complete chaos, and then I put weight on, and so then I have to do another round. So if I'd quit having surgeries every year, I would be much better. Let's see. Something doesn't make sense. Don't expect results. Sorry, I wish these were more bullet pointed. There's just too much reading here. If you feel a craving coming on, go brush your teeth. This should help the craving pass.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, go brush your teeth.
And then you can eat after you brush your teeth.
Exactly. It's like nothing tastes good after you brush your teeth.
Exactly. That's a good idea. I like that.
And let's see. Dr. Simeon's actually would not allow people to stay on the protocol if they cheated more than 3 times. He kicked them out. I thought that was interesting. There's no way to fix a cheat, because there's some people that have like all kinds of phase 2, what is it called? We do in phase 3, when correction days.
Yeah.
There's no correction days in phase 2. It's basically get back on track, and
Like I'm on a video call with other people. Sorry, my daughter was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm on a video call."
So. Another thing is to really journal. Journal is excellent, because there's reasons why we cheat. There's so many people that will get right to the 2,000 or to get right down to underneath to the 200-pound mark, and then they go off the hill and they gain their weight back because for some reason there's a mental thing that they don't feel comfortable getting down under 200 pounds. And so journaling is really good as to why we cheat. We use food for an emotional crutch. Are we using it for that? Are we using it for comfort? Are we using it, for different reasons? And journaling helps us to kind of, so when you feel like cheating, sit down with a pen and paper and kind of get to know your get feelings on you, which is fun and hard and interesting. I've been learning a lot about feelings this past year. Let's see. And then if you go ahead and cheat, take responsibility for your cheat, and and that that you're going to pay for it, and you count the cost and you choose it anyway. And that's just a grown-up choice and an option. And there's no shame. You can feel shame, but don't feel the shame. Like you were saying, you start binging, Marie, and then you just go crazy because you feel horrible about yourself. There's, if you're going to make that choice, make it, get over it, and then, move on, instead of like, no, I'm so horrible, I'm just going to keep doing it and stuff like that.
I'm going to eat tomorrow too.
Right. Can't seem to stop cheating on the following tips. Here's the tip. Sorry. Take out temptations. If you can't say no to junk food, get rid of it, like the wine. I actually have a bottle of half open bottle of wine, or open half full bottle of wine that's been sitting, that I'm going, the 16th, or maybe the 18th before I can have a glass. Don't overdo what's good for you. Overeating healthy foods defeats the purpose of keeping them on hand. Stick to protocol, plan ahead. I think that's the biggest, really, like this weekend with me, it's just planning ahead. Like, Kelly, when you have family coming in, kind of think ahead about, I'm on protocol, I want to stick to protocol. What am I going to do while my family's having their tradition, where I can join them, enjoy it with them, but not sabotage what I've worked so hard for? And that's, always having a plan. I call it a success plan. How am I going to successfully get through this period without sabotaging myself? Check in with your breath. Take 3 deep breaths before eating anything. This is actually one of the things that I've been practicing, is eating with mindfulness. So when you sit down, be thankful for that meal and take a few moments, to just kind of, because a lot of times you're just like, I'm on the go, I got to just, wolf it down and get on. And you almost are hungrier if you wolf things down. Whereas if you actually sit down and you just kind of breathe, be thankful for that, how good it tastes. And do you guys find that P2 food actually tastes really good? I mean, did you ever realize that apples would taste, or you don't do apples, but P2 actually tastes really good after like the third, second week. You're like, this is so good. Because it's clean food, and there's no, so, no preservatives and stuff. So we're eating clean. Prepare your meal.
I don't know. Sometimes that chicken, like chicken breast, after about a week, I'm like, oh, how do you make that moist?
Right. And I just started baking them, and that's one of the things I'll show. I just started baking my chicken breasts, or I do the chicken tenders, because I don't like the whole big breast. And the chicken tenders, you can, it's like one, and a portion of one will make the 5 ounces. So, like you were saying, you brought your own lunch today. Prepare your own food at home. Bring your own lunch. Find awareness. Do you always eat when, so there's, once again, really processing in your head. Do you eat when you're stressed, angry? Be aware of your mental state when you're eating, and, start realizing about emotional eating. And sit down. Yes, as I was saying, sit down, be mindful, mindless snacking. And I think that's one of the hardest things with cheating, is when you're used to snacking, going back into phase 2. That's one of the, the first week, I'm like, oh, that's right, I can't go do that. I'm going to go get some nuts. Oh, can't go do that. And it's healthy snacks, but I want to go get a cheese stick. Oh, can't do that. There's no snacking right now. Wait 10 minutes. Eat half of your portion, drop the fork, and take 10-minute break before thinking about another bite. You'll find that you're satisfied with less food. You guys find that you're satisfied after your meals?
Yes.
I am. Good. The hCG is doing its job. That's awesome. and then write it down. Can't figure out when you're cheating, keep a food journal of everything you eat, and for at least a week, and you'll see where unnecessary snacking and mid meals, and you guys aren't dealing with that. Practice self-care. After a slip up, be kind to yourself. So when it comes to lifestyle change, self-compassion works for the long haul. So there's that, don't be beating yourself up. I also have a thing for tips for being on the protocol. And so, like I said, I've got all these things here. And so I've got to just change my logo, because I've, changed my logo since last year. And so I'm going to be offering these. I'll be putting them in for you guys. So it's tips and tricks. I've also got for when you're sick, and the most common errors during the 500 calorie phase. You guys load real well. You do the loading, and you guys pretty much follow the rules really, really well. And when you do, it works. So that's the benefit. Do you have any questions for all of us? I mean, it's been nice to really get to know you guys.
I can't think of any questions right now. I appreciate the whole live call. This is kind of neat. I've never done this before.
Well, and I want to do it once a week, or every other week or something like that, depending on if people are actually interested, and actually have topics, and I will be a little bit more prepared. This time I'm like, I don't know what to do. Okay, cheating seems to be what everybody wanted, so let's go with that. But we'll have different topics that'll be helpful for different people. And and you know what, I'll do a phase 3 call too, if when you guys are in phase 3, because I think phase 3 is just as important, if not more so, because that's when the everything's really resetting. And
that's when all the options open, and that's when my mind starts telling me, oh, I can eat this or I can eat that. And
right,
like when it's okay to eat a snack, but like, let's say even nuts, I can eat 1,500 calories in nuts in like a sitting.
Yeah.
So I try to stay away from nuts.
Yeah. It's coming down to, you can do it. You just have to portion it, and that's just it.